Greetings and salutations. Again, it is Byron with Learn About Construction. We're going to pick up where we left off on this whole project. We're looking at Dallas County Community College. It's an existing building that's already in place. You can go visit it. The last video, we took care of the paving. Now, most of the paving had to do with the site work, and our building is right over here. So now we're going to get into the structural elements that go behind this foundation for the building. So let's look at that now. So we're about to get into the structural set, and it's always good to stop and take a brief look at the structural general notes and the abbreviations. All right, so here, if you need to refer to any abbreviations that pop up on the sheet, and your structural symbols as well. Very detailed here. The architects did a very good job on all of this information that they're providing. But we're not really doing, but you know, this is just for takeoff purposes. So I don't think that there's anything that we'll need to memorize right there on that page. Okay, so now we're on the overall sheet for the building. As you can see, it is broken up into areas A and B. Right there, there's the match line for it. So the building is divided in half. We discussed this a little last time, but this is the entrance to the building this way. And then outside of here, there's a little courtyard and those sort of things. So other elements that are taking place, there's a mechanical yard here separate from the building, as well as a trash enclosure that's a little bit away from the building. And so these will also have the same elements that I'm looking at here. Looks like piers and grade beams and slabs and things like that. Now it also references a mechanical platform above. Mechanical platform, we'll look at it some more, but that's basically going to be another floor for all your mechanical equipment to sit on. So now we don't do any takeoff from this overall page. We're going to go into the partial page here. All right, so we're on the partial page. Let's check our scale first. An 1/8 inch and an 1/8 inch there. Peruse our notes really quick. It's giving you that the top of concrete is going to be 100. So anything that you see here that's 100, that's like 0, that is the finished floor for the project. Anything below that is going to be below grade, or anything above 100 is going to be considered elevated. And I also explained that it says equals 528 feet sea level. That means above sea level. So this is how far this particular building is above sea level. And so now we'll see call outs, just like this one here that's in frame. It is spelling out what each one of these stand for. So the X indicates the pier designation. Then you have the shaft size, and then the bell size. So these are bell piers that go down like this, and then they spread out at the bottom like a bell. These are the foundation elements that are going in right now. But this is spelling out and is showing you how to interpret this call out right there. Okay, then it shows you that this is your call out for a column and base plate designation. And we see that right there. Those are columns. If we zoom in, the squares right there, those are hollow structural steel columns, and they come assembled with, or they're going to have base plates with them. So there's certain areas, like I can see one right here, that is indicated there's a 3/4 inch slab depression for a walk-off mat, refer to architectural size. So what that is that means that the concrete is going to be at that area depressed down 3/4 of an inch, and it says it's for a walk-off mat. You've seen that. This must be like the vestibule or something, because a lot of times the walk-off mats will be even with the floor. So when you walk in, you brush your feet off, you're not tripping over something that's not at the same level. So they're telling you that because of the thickness of the walk-off mat, which I guess is 3/4, you need to hold down your concrete that much so that the whole thing is even. And it's giving you something similar here for towel. And That may be in a restroom area or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what this is. I believe this is actually more of a atrium type of area. But so these are different. So it's giving you some things to do with the concrete there. Now here's the information about the slab itself. The floor slab that goes over the top of this whole thing is a two-way suspended slab with 8-inch thick, deep void forms underneath. If you haven't seen void forms, they look like cardboard boxes, but they're a little more sturdier, and it's set up in a way so that these are put down first, and then concrete is poured on top of that in forms. So what you have at the end of the day is if you needed to run something underneath your grade beams, you can punch a hole through those void boxes and run your PVC pipe or whatever it is underneath it. Otherwise, it's also going to deteriorate and leave some room for expansion if possible. But that's what a void form is. And now it's giving you some other references for pilasters, and it's saying to refer to civil, which we already did for layout and grading. Now some other things. All right. Now I want to take a look at the detail for the columns, and it says here at B5 you have a typical detail at a column. So let's pull that up now in our second view window. We'll head down to S6.2, and we're looking for B5. Here's B5 right here. So now let's have these side by side. All right, so now this is indicating that this is a detail section cut, sliced right across this element of the building, and this tail indicates which direction you're looking. Now this is already referred us to the detail to look at, and this refers us back to where this reference came from. But here you can see that you've got this element right here, whatever this element is shown as this ledge. It's a brick ledge for the bricks to sit on. And as you can see, that's a 6-inch ledge. Your bricks are 4-inch, so there's a 2-inch air space or something like that behind them. And this is a pilaster. Pilasters are the elements that columns sit on top of. So you have your pier that goes below ground and it keeps going there. That indicates that this is something that continues. And then it gets up to the pilaster. This is a separate pour, so the concrete is cut off here for your pier, and then another concrete pour takes care of these, this pilaster here, and then another one for the slab. These are your void boxes. You can see them right there. And so, and that's your slab, 8-inch slab with a depression that's shown right there. All right, so now that we know that, let's see if there's another detail for our piers. Yeah, so here's a detail for our piers. Remember I told you these are bell piers that spread out at the bottom, and so that's what it's showing there. And it's indicated by this larger circle, the larger circle being the bell at the bottom, and the smaller circle right here being the column. All right, here. So we're going to have to count up all of these now. And we'll use auto count a little bit to do some of the heavy lifting of it. But let's create an item. So now we're creating an item for the bell pier. And I believe this is the size of the pier. So it's 18 inches. Whoops. 18 inches by 54 inch at the bottom. And so the way that we describe that here, the width is 18 across the top, and then the height. So the height is going to be subtracting 100 from 9610. 3'2". So that is the depth of those. We can click one now. And like I said, I want to use auto count here, so I'm going to click and drag on this count item, and it's going to bring up, that's not a good one. All right, I'm going to use auto count here to see if it counts up a lot of these piers for me. Okay, so it found 8 there. I notice there are some other piers in here too that are 30 by 90. I'm just about done counting the piers, and I noticed that there are a few different types of piers, so I had to go in and create some other items on the fly, but that was no problem. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go in here and we'll create our grade beams, but I wonder if we could use Takeoff boost for that and then just modify the item. So let's go in here and let's say we want to do a wall takeoff. And doesn't have the grade beams with any tags. So let's just run it and see if it counts that perimeter and the areas that's indicating as some sort of a wall. Huh. All right. Well, let's take a look at this. All right. So with this, I want to now, let's see if we can look at a typical deal here. C2 should show us the length of the grade beam. C2 on S62. All right, here's 6.2. It says refer to plan. Oh, well, no, it says it's 16 inches, 16-inch grade beam. All right, so we're going to change this to grade beam, and the thickness will be 16 inches. We saw the depth, was that 30 inches? I think we saw that. All right, so now we have that grade beam, and of course it would need to be adjusted if you're like me and want things perfect, but those are our grade beams. So any that it missed, like right here, very easy to just go ahead and add those. So I'm happy with that, and it saved me a lot of time with grade beams, and you know, there's still some things to come and adjust. But for the most part, that can save you a lot of time. Okay. So we've got our piers, we've got our grade beams. The next element up would be the columns, but they're probably the same as the piers. So we're not going to waste a lot of time there. I'm going to show one other feature that Takeoff Boost can help with for the slab. So the area, we'll say, we'll do net area drawn along the inside of surrounding walls. And let's see if we can count that as our 8-inch slab on grade. Oh, all right. Well, here's our slab on grade. We'll just rename this slab on grade 8-inch. Change that. And here we go. So here we are, folks. We have now, if we go look at our summary, we have our slab on grade We get an idea of the quantity, the grade beams, and our piers as well. So I think that that was a good session. We'll get back to doing more of this project here on the next video, but I think we have a good handle on structural drawings and what to look for. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.